So the next thing that we're going to talk about be what are some good strategies and tips to follow when playing Resident Evil 8. And the first one that we thought was a very good point is explore every area, as they all have, they have all hidden treasures everywhere on walls and the trees and chests that we've been talking about. Like with, for example, I don't know if you remember with Luisa's house. If you go back to her house after it burns down, it has the necklace with the gem and then the key, and it goes
Oh
back.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that was really cool.
definitely. Yeah, the way they like the very few treasures that they do have in the game, they definitely have placed them in great places, and getting them is always sometimes a treat because, like you said, after you go back to the house, after a little bit of story progression, and you find her box, which
Mhm.
has a necklace, and you inspect the necklace, and the necklace has a gem in it, and then you inspect the necklace again, and then it has a key in it, and then the necklace appears, and the key takes you to something a little bit more valuable. Now,
Yeah.
assuming you never inspected the necklace, you just sold it, you end up losing on that valuable treasure that
Yeah.
you've missed, that you passed up earlier. Now, another nice little thing is if you're looking through one of the windows to one of the safes, you can see the combination to the safe if you're looking through the window because the numbers are all lined up right there in different spots. But you have to be looking through the window to see all the numbers. Again, it's just something that they added a little extra layer that they've always
Mhm.
added in Resident Evil games to unlock the extra treasures that are throughout. That they like to hide or not hide because most of them are in plain sight. So it's the passwords that they like to hide and stuff like that.
Yeah. And especially too with so especially if you're wanting to like really grind and have a lot more efficiency on the harder difficulties, you definitely want to try to find all of that stuff. Like once you get through the game, you start to get used to the area. It's pretty easy to just run right through, collect all the treasures and everything, no problem. But you definitely want to explore as much as you can to collect all those treasures because it can very quickly get more difficult if you're still trying to get used to the mechanics of the game to be able to catch up against the enemies, especially once you're going into the harder difficulties. You obviously want to be able to have your weapons already infinite. And if it takes longer to make them infinite because you didn't collect enough money or treasures during the first playthrough, then it really jams you up in your progression.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the game is very lenient though when it comes to like the challenges that, in a sense, that you can probably unlock something infinite after your first playthrough.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that, like yeah. So like, it's usually not something to worry about, but it's definitely something to think about as you're playing. If you were watching this before your first playthrough, um, definitely think about what weapon you want to be infinite, and then just max that one out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As far as the Duke goes, him himself. I do believe you should always purchase all of the recipes as soon as he has them, because I think they could have been a little bit more lenient with the crafting materials in the game. I think they gave you a little bit less than was necessary, but I mean, if I ever actually needed ammo, I would go to the Duke, and Duke actually replenishes his ammo throughout the game.
Mhm.
So I highly suggest you always just purchase all of the Duke's ammos because the next time you come back to him, he's gonna have more than likely. I do not know if it stacks. So I don't know if you like play the first area, then you don't get ammo from him when you see him, and then you play a couple more areas. I don't know if that ammo stacks. I don't believe it does. I think he's on like a fixed increment of refreshing his ammo, so
Mhm.
there's kind of always ammo for the next part, so to say.
Doesn't the price increase though? Or is that just with like the
Um,
first aids and
just
the pipe bombs and stuff?
just after you beat the game the first time. That's the only time his
Okay.
price increases. I didn't notice any price increases except for maybe throughout the game. I think the medis increased
Yeah.
to a
Yeah,
cap
those.
of 3,000. I think they capped out at 3,000, and then after you beat the game, they go up to 30,000, which is ridiculous. Craft your medis.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and actually, I found out about that too because on when I did the playthrough knives only, and I just used what's that called, the easy or the LZ laser. I forget what
Mhm.
Yeah, basically a fucking
The lightsaber,
lightsaber.
the
Yeah.
lightsaber. Yeah, the
Yeah,
lightsaber.
that I use that. I just stacked up on med kits because I can't really do much of anything else. And yeah, it goes from like 500, 1,000, then 15 to then 3,000. And then I found out too, it so I was thinking that too, it jumps from just 3 to 30, but it actually does jump up in increments. It just like really doubles then because it goes from like 3,000 to 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, then 30, and it just keeps on going up from there. So I was like, damn.
See?
So that's why
Yeah,
I
no.
especially explored everywhere to get as much crafting material so I didn't have to worry about spending too much on stuff. And
Yeah,
then I
definitely craft your medis, buy your
Mhm,
ammo. Um, you know, ooh, good thing to know also, if you're trying to get more than one weapon infinite. Josh figured this one out. Um, Sell your weapons that you don't use
mhm,
or don't need, and you get a lot of money for them. um, your attachments and your upgrades, though, stay on them. You have to
mhm.
buy them back for an increased price later, but it will allow you to upgrade weapons, a little bit faster and stuff like that. So that way you can, get infinite if you wanted